Hi, welcome to your practice. My name's Sophie, and today we're doing an intermediate to advanced Vinyasa flow. This is going to be a full-length class with a focus on deepening our awareness of alignment and the subtle qualities of the practice, the way that we do in a more advanced practice. So you'll need your mat. If you have a blanket or blocks, have them handy, or even strap, and then you can use them wherever you see fit in the practice. And when you're ready, come into a comfortable seat of your choice. So you can be in Vajrasana, you can be cross-legged, Sukhasana, and then close your eyes. Soften the eyebrows and bring your awareness to your body. Bring your awareness to your breath. So we have this distinct sense of arriving onto our mat. BKS Iyengar says that the body lives in the past, the mind lives in the future, but when we do yoga, we bring the two together to be in the present. Breathe into that awareness of presence. And when we arrive on our mat, it's like a coming home. Bringing our body and our mind into the present moment. And that is yoga. We'll do 4, 6, 8 breathing. So first take an inhale and an exhale. And breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going on your own. 4, 6, 8. 2 more rounds. Then invite in Ujjayi breath, or just regular deep breathing if you'd like. Blink your eyes open. And reach your arms up. Interlace your hands, flip your palms up, keep the thumbs and pinky fingers together. Inhale. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, lift on up. Exhale, round. So it's like we're doing cat-cows. So as you round, really press your shoulders forward and keep going like that. And you can pause in any position and stay for a couple breaths if you'd like. So we're letting go of rigidity and allowing ourselves to move the way that feels good, feels natural. This allows our body to come into the present moment. One more time through cat-cow. Then reach your arms straight up, separate your hands. We'll take a twist to the right. So bring your right hand behind you, left hand onto your outer right thigh, and twist. It doesn't matter if your right hand's touching the ground or not, or maybe you put it on your sacrum. As you inhale, you lift up. As you exhale, you twist a little more and widen the shoulders apart from each other so that your chest is wider. Then on your inhale, reach the arms back up. Exhale, twist to your left. On your inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, release your hands to the ground. Come into tabletop. Tuck your toes. Come up onto your fingertips and walk your hands back. Sit on your heels, so you're like in toes pose. But then lift your knees up and round. We'll call this squat, round, and curl. So your knees are up, your heels are lifted, you're on your toes, and then tuck your chin down and in. Then set your knees on the ground and come up into camel. So you rise up. We're going to have the arms wide for this camel and just do a little tiny back bend. So it's pretty much a camel prep. You're not in full Ustrasana right now. And then bring your hands back down and round and curl. And then knees down and we rise up. A baby camel, we'll call it. Hands down, squat, round, and curl. One more time. Rise up, baby camel. From the upper back is where you're bending. Hands down and round your spine. Then bring the knees down, come into tabletop. Turn your right hand around, so out and around, so the fingers are facing your right knee. If you tend to hyperextend your elbows like I do, you might want to find a little bit of a bend in your right elbow. And extend your right leg straight back. First, we just rock back and forth. If this is too much on your right forearm, you can always turn your hand to the side instead, or you can just keep it facing forward. Rocking back and forth. With the fingers facing forward, you'll still get a wrist stretch here. We're kind of warming up the wrist and stretching through the forearm, the front of the arm, and then find stillness right in the center. Then reach your left arm forward and lift your right leg up into a bird dog variation. So we're focusing on not hyperextending that right elbow if you tend to do that. And then drawing the ribs inwards, belly towards the spine, and reach your right leg strong and back. Reach your left arm forward. Inhale. Exhale, put your hand and knee back down. Turn your right hand back around, and then turn your left hand around. Extend your left leg back. Toes are tucked, and then we're just rocking back and forth. Find stillness in the center. Get nice and firm through your hands, your palms. Reach your right arm forward and left leg back. Reach your hand and foot far apart from each other as you bring the lower ribs in towards the spine. So a lot of stability here. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, put your hand down, knee down. Turn your left hand around. Good. Then come onto the backs of the hands and have the fingers face each other. So you might walk your hands closer to your knees and just kind of rock there. Whatever feels good here. Maybe you wiggle your fingers a bit. All right, we'll come back onto our hands for table. And then come on up into camel again. So setting up for camel rather. And interlace your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. Tuck your toes. And now we'll go into a little bit of a fuller camel here. So stand tall through your body and then go back. So you're arching through your upper back, trying to keep your core engaged so that the bend comes mostly from the upper back, the thoracic spine. Then rise back up and release your hands onto your hips. Take your right leg out to the right. I'm going to turn to the side, but you can face whatever way you want. So right leg out to the right, and then sit back on your left heel and keep the outer edge of your right foot anchored to the ground. So the whole bottom right foot is down. Walk your hands forward, kind of like you're in a child's pose on your left knee. And let your forehead come towards the ground as you actively press into the outer right leg or outer right foot. As you do that, you'll feel the inner right leg engage, and maybe a lot of sensation on the outer right ankle. Breathe into that. Whether you're doing ujjayi or just deep breaths, find those breaths. And as we're engaging the right leg, can you relax the back of the neck a little bit? Good. Then we'll shift our weight forward and plant the hands kind of like we're in tabletop. Now lift your right leg up. Flex your right foot. Try not to lean to the left too much. Bend your right knee and re-straighten the right leg. And again, bend and straight. Just one more time. Bend, straight. Step your foot into lizard, front of the mat. Left leg will slide back. Now lift your back knee up. So you're in a lizard with your knee lifted. Shift your weight front to back. Or maybe find some circles. Then come up onto your fingertips. If you have blocks here, you can put your hands on blocks. So bend a little bit more. Sink the left hip a little more. And then straighten both legs and round the spine like you're in cat pose. Then bend back into that original pose of lizard and open up the chest. And exhale, straighten the leg and round the spine. So keep going like that. We'll take 2 more rounds of that. Pressing down into your right big toe. Do a solid base of your right foot. Bend your right knee back into lizard. Plant your hands. Put your back knee down. Untuck your back toes and put your right hand on your inner right thigh so you're twisting to the right. Now just for a moment, put your right hand on your sacrum, like above your tailbone. And rotate your spine a little more to the right and feel that rotation coming from the sacrum. So there's a little bit of a twist in the lower spine. And then that kind of reverberates up like a corkscrew all the way up to the upper spine. You can put your right hand back on your inner right thigh. You can roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Press down with your left hand so the left shoulder draws back. And as you're pushing your right thigh away from you, you're getting, it's like it feels to me like I'm separating my hip bone in like the best way. And you're not actually separating anything. And then put the right hand back down to the ground, tuck your left toes, and lift your back knee up off of the ground. Good. Set your back knee back down, and we'll just step back into a tabletop. Then rise back up. Now interlace your hands, so you're standing on your knees. Interlace your hands behind your back, but do the opposite grip. And again, we'll do camel. Rise back up. Release your hands onto your hips. Left leg goes out to the left. Anchor down into the outer edge of your left foot. Sit back on your right heel. Keep the outer left foot down. Walk your hands forward. Forehead comes towards the earth. It doesn't have to touch, but maybe it does. Don't forget that engagement of the outer left foot, the inner left thigh. Rise back up onto the hands. So you're kind of shifting your weight forward, and then lift your left leg up. Lift it up. Bend the knee. Straighten the leg. Bend and straight. Bend and straight. Pause there. Step your foot outside of your left hand for lizard. Lift the back knee up and rock back and forth. Maybe take some circles. And come up onto your fingertips or blocks. Let the right hip sink down a little bit as maybe you open the chest a bit more. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the left leg, round your spine. Bend, lizard. Straighten and round. 3 more of those. Slow it way down. One more. Back to lizard. Put your right knee down, untuck the toes. Plant the right hand, twist to your left. Actively push down into the top of your right foot, your back foot. Push that left knee away from you, like your chest and your knee don't want to be near each other. So create that distance and then engage the abdomen. Twist from the base of the spine all the way up. Notice the subtleness of your breath. Just simply having awareness of the breath changes the dynamic of your energy, changes your whole day. How often do we have awareness of our breath? Bring your left hand back down and then tuck your right toes, and we'll step back into table and rise back up, camel prep. Good. And then this time we'll do full camel, however you'd like. Hands could be on the back of the lower back, or your hands could go to your heels and make your way there. And rise back up. Sit back down. Put your hands down into table, and we'll rise up into down dog. We'll do some spinal rolls before we take a few breaths in down dog. So round your upper back like cat and roll into plank. Put your knees down an inch off of the ground. So just hover an inch off the ground. Sit your hips back like you're in a floating child's pose. Lift your hips up, but you're back in down dog. Roll it out to plank. Knees come low, shift your weight back into floating child's. Lift your hips. Keep going. So now we're making this very circular from one movement to the next, just flowing through the movements, finding synchronicity in your body, finding the rhythm. One more time. We'll land in down dog. Pause there. Shake out your head. Shake it out. Lift your heels really high and lower them back down. Do that 2 more times. Good. Pause there. Walk your feet up to your hands to the front of the mat. Lift up halfway and then ragdoll fold. So you could take your feet wider if you want. You can grab onto your elbows, or you can let your arms dangle for ragdoll. Rock side to side. Shake out your head. And then release your hands down. Feet hip distance apart. Find a half lift. Put your hands on your hips, slight bend to the knees, flat back. Then rise all the way up. Arms by your sides. Reach your arms up. Inhale. Hands to your heart on your exhale. Keep your thumbs right in the center of your chest. Close your eyes for a moment. We're going to invite in a mantra for our practice. Sat Nam. It means I am truth. As you inhale, just think Sat or silently chant Sat. Exhale, Nam. Inhale, Sat. Exhale, Nam. So if you think that mantras are a little bit silly, that's okay. It helps us bring our mind into focus when we invite in these mantras, and they're very powerful. So see if that helps you through your practice. Inhale, Sat. Exhale, Nam. Arms down by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up, Sat. Exhale, fold forward, Nam. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower down halfway. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra on your inhale. Downward facing dog. Look forward, step or hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand. Exhale, hands to your heart. Arms down by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. Sat. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Nam. Inhale, half lift. Sat. Exhale, step or hop to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward, step or hop forward. Halfway. Fold forward. Stand, arms up. Hands to heart. Tadasana, arms by your sides. One more time through. Lift up and fold. And halfway. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breath in. And breath out. Feet together. Lift your right leg up. Down dog scorpion. So bend your knee, open your hip. Straighten the right leg to square the hips. Step your right foot between your hands. Plant the left hand, lift the right arm up, twist. Firm up your back thigh. Reach your right arm over your ear towards the front of the mat. Rotate your chest. Reach your right arm back up. Rise up into a high lunge twist. So slowly rise up. Open arm twist. Then reach your arms forward and up. Inhale. Warrior two. Exhale. We'll go into side angle. So right hand on the inner right thigh or on the ground. I prefer the ground here or block. Left arm over your ear. Press the outer edge of your left foot into the ground. Press your right armpit into your right inner knee to twist you a little more. Good. We'll come into lizard, hands down to the ground. Slide your right foot to the right. Put your back knee down. Option to bend your back knee and grab onto your foot. Pull it in for 3, 2, 1. Release. Come into half splits. Slide your right foot between your hands and then bring your hands over to the right side. So you're on your fingertips. Lengthen your spine. Draw your right hip back. Bring your hands back to frame your foot. Bend your right knee into low lunge. Lift your back knee. Back of the mat, Skandasana. So left knee bends. Hands to heart. Or you can be in a high side lunge as well. Warrior two, facing the front of the mat. Bend the right knee. Open the arms. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to the ground. Low lunge. Step back into a one-legged plank. Reach your left arm forward so you're in an awkward plank. For 3, 2, 1. One-legged plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog. Lift your left leg up, bend your knee, open up your hip. Straighten out your left leg, square your hips. Step your left foot through. twist to your left. Reach your left arm over your ear. Firm your back thigh. Reach your left arm back up. We're going to rise up into a high lunge, open arm twist. High lunge, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Side angle. Keep reaching your right fingertips towards the front of the room. Inhale. Exhale, lizard. Slide your left foot to the left. And then bend the back knee, grab onto the foot if you'd like. Just for 3, 2, 1. Release the foot down. Half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Slide the foot between the hands, lengthen the spine, and then bring both hands over to the left. And twist to your left. Broaden through the chest. If you push down into your left heel and anchor your left hip back, you'll get more sensation. Where's your breath? Where's the intention behind the breath? Hands come back to frame your foot. Bend your knee into low lunge. Lift your back knee. Back of the mat, Skandasana. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Step back to one-legged plank. Reach your right arm forward. 3, 2, 1. Just put the right hand down. Chaturanga. Up dog. And downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Lift the right leg up. Step the right foot between the hands. Now look forward. Supported warrior three. Keep your fingertips down and lift your back leg up. I like to start here so we can bring awareness to the subtle quality of this pose without the distraction of keeping the spine lifted without the support of the hands. So stay here. Draw the right hip back. Reach the crown of the head forward. Knit the ribs in. Enjoy the yumminess of that stretch through the outer right leg. Set the left foot back into pyramid and do a nice fold over your right leg. Really crawl your fingertips forward so you're creating that nice triangle underneath your right armpit. Now lift up halfway. Put your left hand on the outer right foot, like on the ground on the outside of the right foot. And then take your right arm up, revolved triangle. So we have this steadiness through the legs, like the legs are this steady base, and then the rotation of the spine lifts us up. And the hands reach, the right hand reaches up. The toes spread wide. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the ground. Bring your hands onto your hips and rise all the way up. Then we'll come into a one-legged mountain. Left leg rises. Left peace fingers grab onto left big toe. Reach your leg forward and out to the left. Right arm out to the right and stand tall. Extended hand to big toe. Reach your leg forward. Reach the arms straight up. And then like a pendulum, swing your left leg back to come into warrior three. Bring your left hand down and your right arm up to twist right. Revolved half moon. Option to bend your back knee and grab onto your foot for Chapasana variation. Kick your foot up if you're doing that. Back to revolved half moon. Hands to the ground to supported warrior 3. Step your left foot back into low lunge. And slide your right foot out to the right, setting up for a potential arm balance. You can either stay here, or you can slide your right shoulder underneath your right knee and go into Ekapada Kundanyasana. Bring it back to plank, or right into Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Let's take 2 deep breaths. Open mouth exhale on each one. Lift the left leg up. Step your left foot between your hands. Walk your fingertips out in front of you, supported warrior 3. Aim to get your left hip and your left rib cage away from each other. So left hip further back. Reach the crown of the head forward. Take one more breath. Pyramid pose. Right heel down and fold over your left leg. Now lift up halfway. Bring your right hand to the outer left side of the left foot. Left hand on hip as you rotate, and then lift the left arm up. So I like to slide my right foot back about 1 inch or 2 when I revolve from the pyramid pose. So that might work for you too. So find the steadiness through the legs, that strength. Toes are spread. And then the lifting of the upper body. The expansion of the left arm and the left shoulder. And the subtleness of the breath. You can always bring in your mantra, Sat Nam. I am truth. Bring your left hand back down to the ground. Hands on your hips. Rise on up to stand. Then we'll take the right leg with us into one-legged mountain. Hands can stay on your hips here. Right peace fingers to right big toe. Reach your right leg forward. And out to the right. Left arm out to the left. It's okay if you wobble. It's okay if you fall. Reach your right leg forward, arms up, leg as high as you can. And then pendulum, swing the leg back, go into warrior 3. Virabhadrasana 3, arms straight forward, or any other variation that works for you. And then revolved half moon, right fingertips down, reach your left arm up. You can also think of it as revolved warrior 3, which makes sense to me more. Then you could bend your knee if you want, grab onto your foot. Totally optional. Part of having an advanced practice is not always taking like the most challenging position if it doesn't suit you. It's knowing where your limits are and then staying there and breathing deeply. And re-extend your right leg and bring your fingertips to the ground. Step back into low lunge. Plant the hands. Slide your left foot to the left. Ekapada Kundanyasana, an arm balance. Try it or don't try it. Up to you as you slide your left foot forward. Lean forward and balance. Chaturanga, upward facing. and downward facing dog. Let's take child's pose. Soften. Hear your heartbeat. This feeling right here, this is the feeling that we're seeking. That sense of completeness. Santosha, contented, being content. Contentment, that's the word I'm looking for. And contentment doesn't mean you're content all the time, it's just snippets. Rise back up into table. Downward facing dog. Bring it back up. Shake out your head. Good. Lift the right leg up, please. And then bring your right knee into pigeon. Pigeon pose. Come up onto your fingertips and lift and lengthen the spine. And you can fold on down onto your forearms, onto your head. What feels right for you. Then rise back up onto your hands. Tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. Then bring your right knee up into your right armpit. And bring the right foot up. Can you hold there? Bring the right knee to the left armpit. Extend your right leg out to the left. Maybe grab a hold of it. Or you can put your foot on the ground. So you're reaching that foot forward. And then we'll go to three-legged dog. And bend the knee, open the hip. And then slowly drop into wild thing. But drop is the wrong word because I want you to land really slow. Like a sloth, like really slow motion. And then when you're there, you can open your chest to face the ceiling. Instead of flipping right back around, we're going to sit down. So left hip sits down. Then you're facing the back of the mat. And your right knee is bent. So Marchyasana, sage pose. We're going to go ahead and reach for the left foot. And we'll fold as we hug the right knee in towards the center. So for me, this pose is very much about stretching the back body into deep flexion. Feel the hamstrings maybe too. And then we'll rise up. An option to bind here. So you bring your right arm in front of the right shin and around, and your left arm around, and you can also fold as well. Then let's rise back up. Unwind your arms. You're going to place your right foot over to the left side and face your left hand. Place your left hand down and face your fingertips to the same way your toes are facing. Then you're going to turn and be on the left side of your left hip. With your right hand, you're going to grab onto your outer left foot, and that's going to be in front of your right shin. And then lift up for baby grasshopper. Now we're going to go to standing splits, and I know we're facing the side of the mat now. So if you can, you're going to stand all the way up and lift that left leg with you, or whichever way you need to get there. Get there. Standing splits, left leg is straight up. Good. Then bend your left knee and grab onto your left foot with your right hand for soldier pose. Point your left knee to the sky. Extend your left leg again into standing splits. And then bend your knee into flamingo, left knee right next to the right knee. Gaze forward. We're going to go into a pistol squat, get low, or also known as a one-legged squat. Left leg is straight out in front of us. Grab onto your left big toe with your left peace fingers. The challenge is, can you stand up? Ready? Get all the way up if you can. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh for standing figure 4. Hook your left elbow over to the right side so you're twisting. So your left elbow is right on the bottom of your foot. Option for an arm balance here. Place your hands on the ground. So this is going to be grasshopper pose, full grasshopper. Extend your right leg to the left. Come right back into your twisted figure 4. It's kind of hard to go back there. And then we're going to rise on up, one-legged mountain, and then put the foot down and stand in mountain. Whew, what a journey. We're going to face the front of the mat again. So walk over to the front of the mat. Reach your arms up and fold forward. Take a nice deep fold. Grab onto the backs of the ankles, maybe tuck your elbows behind your knees. Lift up halfway. Option for crow pose or handstand or whatever you feel like doing. For 3, 2, chaturanga on 1. We'll make our way back to down dog. We'll breathe in and breathe out. Lift the left leg up. Pigeon on the left side. Come on down to wherever it feels good for you. Rise back up onto your hands. Plant your hands, tuck your toes, lift your back knee, left knee into left upper arm, and then the right foot comes up as well. And turn to face the right so you can extend your left leg out and grab onto the outer edge of the right foot. Your foot can also be on the ground for rock star pose. And then we're going to go to 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Slow motion into wild thing like a sloth. Face the chest up. Slowly sit down to face the back of the mat. Grab onto your right foot with your right hand. Sit tall and then fold over your right leg for Marichyasana. Either stay there or rise up and take a bind. And if you take your bind, you can also then fold there. Slowly rise back up. Okay, now plant your right hand down next to your right hip, face the side of the mat. cross your left foot over. We're going to baby grasshopper. So you really want to turn and lean on the outer right leg, and then grab onto the right foot with the left hand, and then shift forward and lift up. Standing splits. Bend your right knee, grab onto the right foot with the left hand, soldier pose. Re-extend your right leg, standing splits. Right knee goes next to left knee for flamingo, passing through into pistol squat or one-legged squat. Reach your right leg forward. Sit tall. Right peace fingers to right big toe. Do your best to stand all the way tall. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Figure four. Now I'm just going to turn. You stay where you are. I'm just turning for a better angle. Now connect your right elbow over to the left. You could totally stay here. This is a great place to be. Very challenging. If you want to go for the arm balance, you want to keep your foot on the upper right arm. Plant your hands down and work your way there into grasshopper. And then we'll come back into our figure four twist. So we're coming out of it the same way that we came into it. It's okay to fall like I did. And then we rise back up into one-legged mountain, slowly unwinding the body, unraveling. Foot down into Tadasana. And come back to the front of the mat. Deep breath in and out. And reach the arms up and fold forward. Then we'll do Padangustasana. Step onto the hands. Bring the toes all the way to the wrists. You can wiggle your toes on those wrists. Take your elbows wide. Unwind. Plant the hands down onto the ground. Anything that you feel like doing before we go back to down dog, you're welcome to. If you're kind of done like me, you might hop to down dog, landing with bent knees. It's nice and buoyant. And shake out that head. After meeting back and down dog, we'll set the knees down, and then we'll just come into a seat. Good. So we're going to go into shoulder stand. Now, one quick note about shoulder stand. You want to be really cautious with the neck here. The safest way to do shoulder stand is to take 2 blankets, and I'll show you how to do that. You take your 2 blankets kind of wide. If you're like, no, I'm not doing the blankets, feel free to go into your shoulder stand. But otherwise, you take them wide-ish, and you want to put them on top of each other, and the non-tasseled side is going to be the one facing you. Now you're going to lay your shoulders down on the ground in front of the and release your hands down to the ground, and we'll make our way all the way onto our back. So we're going to bend the knees and just sit on down. Actually, let's make our way into boat pose. So lift the legs up. Why not? Lift your chest, shoulders back. Straighten the legs. We're going to hold here for 5 seconds, and then we're going to go into a low boat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Low boat. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come all the way to the ground. Bend your knees and lift your hips up into bridge. Slide your shoulder blades close together. Plant the hands. So you can stay here, or you can go into a shoulder stand if it's safe for your neck. You can always put a block under your hips and do a supported shoulder stand. Okay, to go into shoulder stand, you slide your hands underneath your hips and lift your feet up. If you need to do that from the ground, feel free. It's a little more challenging coming into it from bridge. Plow pose if you'd like. Legs will go over the head. Toes to the ground. Straighten the legs. Maybe interlace your hands, pinkies to the ground. If you'd like to bend the knees and bring them by the ears, you can support your hands to your low back again. Karnapidasana. I'm sorry, my mouth is very close to the microphone. And then we'll slowly roll out of it. Put your hands on the ground. Slowly roll. And bring your knees into your chest. Bring the feet to the ground. Let's do fish pose. So you'll straighten the legs. Lift up. Put your hands in your imaginary jean pockets. I hope you're not wearing jeans while doing yoga. That would be uncomfortable. Lift your chest up. So you're kind of puffing your chest up, right? And then bringing the back of the head to the ground. Point your toes. When you're ready, make your way out of the pose and onto your back. Take your feet wide. Windshield wiper your legs side to side. You can take your arms overhead. Let's kind of gather our energy and our awareness back into that mantra, Sat Nam. Inhale Sat. Exhale Nam. Because the goal of the practice is to bring us into the present moment, our body, our mind. And if we can be present just right now, then it will ripple into the rest of the day. Our goal is just to notice the breath right now. Bring your knees into your chest. Drop your knees to the right side for a twist. Any variation of supine twist is fine. Can you move your right shoulder over to the right a little more by kind of lifting your chest and sliding it over to get your upper back more flush to the ground? Then bring your knees back up and drop them to the left. Same thing as we slide the left shoulder over to get the right shoulder flush to the ground. Doesn't matter if your knees are touching the ground, mine aren't. And I think that would be a little too much for most people. We want to focus on the upper body here, the opening of the chest, the pecs. And so we have this beautiful thoracic twist. Bring the knees back up to center. Give them a squeeze. And then release your legs down to the ground and your arms down by your sides. Close your eyes. Take a cleansing breath in and out. Feel your bones become heavy on the ground. The skull spreads wide. The sacrum and the heels and the palms, backs of the hands sink towards the earth. Your bones are heavy, but your muscles are light and free now. Begin to bring movement back into the body. Reach your arms overhead, point your toes, and take a full body stretch. Bend your knees one at a time. Roll yourself to the side. Pause there on the side for a moment. And just bring awareness to this culmination of the mind and the body, that unification of the mind and body into the present. Slowly rise up to a seat. Bring your palms together and let's bow in gratitude for this practice. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Let me know what you'd like to see more of on my channel. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button so that we can continue practicing together. I'll see you next time.